positively suicidal right now.
What?
I can't say that again. I'm live now. You look like you're trying to kill yourself.
Oh.
Hi, everybody. I live with a madman. Sorry. My apologies. Happy Wednesday. What up? How you doing? I'm dying to know. Have you got the results of your brain scan back yet? I feel so nosy asking that. I didn't want to ask it during the premiere, but like, what up, kitty cat? Hey, Joe, how you doing? All right. Oh my gosh, we're all on time today. I do include myself in that. I'm late half the time. It's another hot sunny day around these parts. Like I said, I guess we could kind of spend today talking about being weird kids. That's probably a rich vein, right? No results from the brain scans yet. I'll give them a call in a week or two if not. Okay, cool. Cool. I had a question for you about the auras, and I forget what it was. It's been a very busy week around here. But I was very pleased to happen upon Rebecca's video because, oh wait, yeah, it's the same hair. Did you film the vid this morning? No, that was last night. I redid it because I had two people say, wow, I love your hair. So I'm like, okay. I thought it worked, obviously. Is there a kid who isn't weird out there? Yeah, and that's a big part of the danger with stuff like that, right? Nobody perfectly fits the gender stereotype box. Nobody perfectly fits any box, but that's, what we're talking about today. No one is either perfectly masculine or perfectly feminine. I think kids are normal. It's the grown-ups that turn weird. That's why they target children. Yeah. Very becoming. Thank you. Yeah. I have the jaw to pull off a big hairdo, don't I? Oh, that reminds me. I saw someone in my city's trans Facebook group post about their 4-year-old being trans. And I was like, what? Yeah. 4-year-olds are 4. I swear they can barely even talk at age 4. A lot of times, yeah. Or not in a way anybody but their parents can understand. The idea that anybody knows that kind of stuff at that age. It's simply not possible. Which brings me back to, you wanted me to elaborate on the nobody is in the wrong bratty idea. And that is the harshest way to put it, I think, isn't it? That's the most succinct, most hard-hitting way of putting it. The hairstyle I really want you to wear. I am. I'm wearing my Marie. I think it was my Marie Antoinette dress. Yeah, very much. Play poverty peasant kind of thing. It's just hot though, and this is a white, kind of a light fabric. So, thank you. Merch idea wands. That's funny because I'm writing a book about witches, but there are no wands. No one has a wand. What a silly idea. I've never quite understood what they're for. When I was raised by Wiccans, I still don't quite understand what are wands for. I love them. They're beautiful. What? And in a fictional magical universe, I know J.K. Rowling is very fond of them, but, and I guess they're enchanted with various different things, but, Harry Potter movies were wrong then. You're being fancy, okay? And I'm just saying, I don't get it. I don't get a lot of stuff. I'm weird, remember? Just because I don't get it doesn't mean it's wrong or bad or something. That means just I'm over here being clueless. That's what that means. What are they for? I don't know. If somebody wanted to design me an awesome one, I would happily accept it and put it in a beautiful case and never use it for anything because I don't know what they're for. Yeah, because it's true. No one's born in a body. You're born. That's your body. Oh my god, a YouTube an ad interruption already? I'm so sorry. That's bizarre. We were talking about wands now. Yeah. I have a 3-year-old grandson. He thinks he's the Incredible Hulk, right? And he is hitting you hard with the trifficator to water. Yeah. I just went and filled up my cup before I sat down with a bunch of ice too. So I know what I'm in for. Don't worry. No, so I don't like reject the idea of wands. I have no reason. It's not that I don't like them. I don't understand what they're for. Wands are supposed to amplify your natural energy. Well, like, okay, but like, you're supposed to do. That's what magical practice does. I'm sorry. I don't want to get into the esoteric stuff quite so quick. Aren't they for abracadabraing? Yeah, they're a magician stage gimmick, I think. That's what this always struck me as. It reminds me of stage magic, which is not the vibe you want if you're trying to do anything serious, right? If you're trying to be all ooh and ritualistic and whatever and mysterious, you don't be invoking the guy with the rabbit in his hat. That's not what you want. I typed 4-year-old into the search for my city's transcript. 5 separate posts about alleged toddler trannies. Like, what the fuck? See? And that's part of why I feel repeatedly compelled to speak up about this kind of thing. And the other thing is that I freely admit that I take this pretty personally because there but for the grace of time go I, of my own volition, okay? In the Star episode Cat's Paw, the aliens used a wand that they called the transmuter to affect energy and matter. Yeah, no, I mean, there are all sorts of wands in fantasy and science fiction. It's not that I don't like them. Are we going to have 4-year-olds claiming their sex workers are old enough to be in love with a 22-year-old neighbor? Yeah, I mean, where does that end? I don't know. I don't want to find out, frankly. It should end at material reality, and I do. I think I like to say that that's the watering hole we all have to come back and drink from, you know? And that's where we should base, our measurements, our estimations of things in. I wouldn't put it past some of these people. Probably seems heading that way. Right. And I am not a conservative person, okay? The fact that I ended up married with kids is because I leaned straight and got pregnant. Like, it's not a grand plan that I consider a political statement. It's just what happened. And I would not have expected this 20 years ago. I would not have expected this, much less to be anything like happy in a situation like this. Which brings me back to, the weird kid bit, right? Is 6-year-olds can know they're transsexual. Does that mean, if 6-year-olds know they're transsexual, does that mean they also have a right to bodily autonomy in every way? This shit scares me. Right. That's what I was, the idea that a small kid knows anything like that about themselves. There's no way. It's not possible. Just like it isn't possible to be in the wrong body, okay? And I'm going to try and actually elaborate on that a little bit. Because it's not possible. It's not possible, all right? Regardless of whether you're a strict materialist and you believe that you are your body, or you believe in a soul and some sort of, universal consciousness that put you in your body, either way. How did you get into the wrong one? That's not possible. From any angle, it's not possible. There's no, like the hormone exposure in the womb thing. Good. The idea that there are people, males with feminine brains. Good. That's not a problem. I'm sorry that, and I empathize with this so much. Okay. And that's the problem is that my personal experience has led me to no other conclusion than this. None. Like, emphatically. Oh, yeah, Andrew Long Chu. Right, yeah. She wrote an article in, like, the New York Times or something. Yeah. People have been arguing that for a long time, though, to be fair. There has been a contingent saying stuff like that for decades. I'm pretty sure all these freaks just want to have access to children for other reasons. Maybe. What up, Mecca? I didn't even see you. Where you at? Just got here. Hey. Cool. No, I don't remember exactly when it was how old I was when I started, wishing when I would go to bed that I would wake up as a boy. I don't remember how old I was. It was around the same time that I fell in love with my best friend. And I don't tell this story much because I feel like y'all have heard this story 100 times. I have heard this story 100 times from other people, right? But I was 12, 13. I was probably 14 years old before I realized, that I really just kind of felt like maybe I was a man inside somehow. And I'm 5'4", as I've said before, with like really 38-inch hips on a good year. Okay, like the idea that anybody was ever going to believe I was male, that was just not the medical transition thing was never going to happen for me, and I saw that immediately. So I just lived with this idea in my head, and I believed this about myself for about 15 years for reasons that I could go into. Ask me whatever you want. I guess that's the topic of today's live stream is my own gender dysphoria and why I consequently do not believe that it means somebody is in the wrong body. I can't accept that. My personal experience has emphatically taught me the contrary of that. So, and if you do believe that about yourself, if that is how you feel, then, you have some stuff to work through. I could be mean about it and call it names, but reality is squishy sometimes. It is. Not in that way. Wait. Talking about how the come on thing. I don't know how to work this thing, apparently. That's fun. Anyway, you guys talking about how the atheist community are pro-trans, and that's weird. Online atheists believe God created people secretly possessed by opposite sex ghosts. It's wild. And, right, yeah, no, agreed. Which is why I think, you hear conservatives complaining about wokeness, because sometimes the connections don't seem to make sense. Sometimes people do seem to just accept this idea on faith, and when they wouldn't anything else. Yeah, which is, what do you conclude from that? All right. Having been in trans communities, I don't think it's all or even many, though I think many give misleading advice to young folks questioning their gender identity. Right. Now, I think that's the most insidious thing about it is a lot of them are well-meaning. Because if you believe that about yourself, if you truly do, and of course you might believe that about someone else. I'm not saying that they're evil or anything. I'm saying they're mistaken. I had friends who were boys more often than not and liked to do stuff like climb trees as a kid and insisted for like a year on being called David, as my best friend had that name. Yeah, right? Wrong body is nonsense. You're born with whatever, and the rest is up on you. Yeah, pretty much. This might sound like a dodge, but I kind of think me born in the wrong body is not a useful question. Okay. This is a way that I've heard this phrase so many ways to describe what gender dysphoria feels like. And I would, myself, probably have described it that way. I'm just saying, like, I mean, did it develop into the wrong body? Is that what you're implying? I feel like I'm being pedantic here. I don't mean to nitpick you. I'm really trying to figure out, we got to define terms, right? I'm just saying atheists are less likely to preach or impose any kind of restrictions on other people because they don't have the same moral imperatives. Right. I'm back now. Hey, Scott. Girlfriend called me to answer questions. Some things conservatives think are a contradiction really aren't. Like queers for Palestine. Thinking whole society should die for homophobia is nuts, even if you're gay. Like, true. Again, I think both sides are less than great in that conflict. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh yeah, thank you. Please, yeah, hit like. I was born in the wrong economic circumstances. Yeah. Conservatives sometimes refuse to understand what people are actually saying. I think a lot of people do that. I think everyone does that, maybe. When people want me to talk them through their gender questioning, I try to steer them away from questions of what they are and towards what they actually want to do and their lasting patterns. Okay. But so, I mean, and that's one materialist way to approach it, I suppose. I'm trans rich too. I'm being oppressed economically. Yeah. Totally. Definitely. Like, we have bodies. I think being neutral about those bodies is a helpful approach. Some of us want to change those bodies, and that's something which shouldn't be entered into lightly. Agreed. But so I think that if you actually come at it from a neutral perspective, the neutral setting is going to be the natural one that you were born with. Right? I could be biased here. I admit that. I don't think so though. I've tested this one out quite a bit. There's a lot of things I don't know, especially in terms of behavior, stating biological determined gender is willfully ignoring all the contradictions. Yeah. The debunk their science. It's junk science. Yeah, and aren't a lot of the brain differences between men and women are anyway relatively slight, even if they are significant? Right, and you don't. My favorite objection to that is it changes every minute as you use it. Okay, and we push the two sexes into opposite coded behaviors from the day they're fucking born. So try parsing out what part is organic and what part is uh, impressed. That's not the word I want. From outside. Good luck. Good luck. Even in your own mind. Good luck. Yeah. In the Star Trek episode Turnabout Intruder, Kirk literally changes bodies with his ex-girlfriend. Which, there's something I don't think is possible, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. Having too much drama about your body isn't healthy for anyone. It's the only vehicle you have to carry you through life, so you need to learn to love it to be any kind of happy. Yeah, right? And I suppose if modifying that is the only way that you can find to achieve that, I'm not talking tattoos here, you know what I'm saying? Then all right. I just think that can't that there. I'm not going to agree to the idea that that is the healthiest way. That there's no way that going under the knife is the healthiest way to deal with anything but like cancer, right? I mean, can't hear me? Is it too windy? I wonder if I could plug that microphone into this thing. Actually, I think maybe I can. It's so cute. So cute. You can hear me fine? Cool. Um, People often bring up those folks who went to chop their own limbs off or something as a parallel to trans. See, I wasn't. And if they are, I personally don't have a problem letting them do that, unless it's a thing where they're likely to massively regret it later. Like, okay, if you cut off your leg, you are likely to massively regret that later. I have no statistics to back that up, but that seems like, dare I say, common sense. But as desired than to just make bad for you. Which I know is a terribly conservative and non-leftist thing to say. It's not a very tolerant or inclusive thing to say, but some things are bad for you. And desiring them demonstrates some sort of, thing, must be me, but where actually to cut off limbs no matter how insistent someone is. I get that's the ordinary response, but I'm questioning whether that is necessarily the most helpful for the patients themselves. Well, okay. The medical practice is supposed to first do no harm. right? So the idea that they would cut off a healthy limb, they shouldn't do that. Just ethically, they're not allowed to do that. Okay, so what else? That's really interesting. I'm legitimately curious. What besides some sort of internalized self-hatred would you say that sex dysphoria is? If you're like, I'd like to seriously injure myself, can you give me permanent disability? Nah, you don't seem okay. Yeah, right, exactly. And a lot of sex dysphoria is internalized bigotry, to be sure, but I don't think all cases of it are. So what is the alternative explanation then? I'm genuinely curious. Gender dysphoria is a logical reaction to a society that's pushing sex behavior conformity and accepted sexual violence. Right, right, right. That was a lot of what I ended up concluding, was that I wasn't being irrational. It was just this unconscious symbolic stuff. My left leg is female and my right is male. Should I cut it off? No, but perhaps if you cross them, you'll equal it out. I get to be yourself. I don't know. Like, I also do sympathize with non-binary people who just want to be human beings. Like, yep. Welcome to womanhood. I don't know. I describe sex dysphoria as discomfort with one's natal sex characteristics. I don't have an explanation for it. Okay. So that's a problem, right? Because that is the only one. Again, I'm 15 years. I want to emphasize that this is not something I've come to lightly. It was 15 years of my life. Most Americans have body dysmorphia. Consumerism counts on it. Why can't all people go in and get all the plastic surgery they need to feel better about themselves? Well, because it would cost the American healthcare system a lot of money, I guess. I don't know. Just make sure your legs don't get up to any funny business before marriage. Good luck finding the minister who will perform that ceremony. I guess get ordained yourself, right? Get one of your hands ordained. You aren't uncomfortable with other people you want to seriously harm. You hate them. If your discomfort is so serious you want to mutilate your body, you're feeling something more strongly than negative than discomfort. Right. And it's frog in the pot kind of thing, okay? Where we've just kind of always lived in our own minds, and you might not realize how tense something is until you can finally manage to start relaxing again and go, oh my God, you know? The line between sex dysphoria and ordinary body dysmorphia is admittedly at times blurred, but I do think they're different things. I don't think it is the same discomfort. You know, as somebody who has suffered from both, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. They're very similar. But yeah, no, I think they're definitely it's like a runny nose, right? You can have a runny nose for a lot of different reasons. Actually, go ahead and light this cigarette now. Yeah, so no, I would agree with that. Every time I detransitioned, I consistently felt bad in ways not even necessarily connected to my body image. Like I was avoiding mirrors and not thinking about gender stuff, but was still hedonic. Okay, because it is. This might sound corny, but it is subconscious. Okay, the feelings that are driving you to behave that way are not in your conscious mind. Okay, and so teasing them out, it's not easy. And I've heard some similar accounts from others like me who detransitioned and then retransitioned. Which really goes in depth on what gender dysphoria is and the problem of psychology as visual reactions to societal problems. You were, yeah. Thank you for sitting through the ads. I was literally 5 cents from my first. So we're probably gonna get paid this week. All right. Me fist bump. It pays the host, so either by premium or smile that you're helping the host. Yeah, thank you. And I do try to say thank you because it's every little bit does help. And I know that they're annoying. I hate ads. Ask anybody. I mean, maybe it was subconscious. Seems wild to me that my conscious mind could believe so thoroughly that X wouldn't happen, only for my subconscious to make Y happen psychosomatically. That's how psychosomatic things work. Yeah. It is a physical manifestation of your unconscious mind. That's what that is. Which is wild. It is. Placebo effect, this wild stuff. I mean, maybe it was subconscious? Right, yeah, I read that already. Okay. But minds are really powerful, so I'm open to what you suggested. Okay, and I'm not trying to sit here and be judgmental of you. I mean to be as gentle as possible because I really feel like I understand to a degree that I don't ever want to force you to do anything or try and force you to look at anything a certain way because you can lead a horse to water, you know what I mean? But these are discoveries a person has to make for themselves. You just have to do it yourself. I can't do it for you, you know what I mean? I feel no responsibility or compunction to do that, but I also cannot help but say the things that I know to be true, right? From my own experience. And yours might be very different. Who knows? I am open to that possibility too. But I can't see why, and that's what I'm saying. If you can find another explanation for the gender dysphoria, I'm open to it. But I've never heard one. I know you're not coming at this from a judgmental place. Don't worry, okay? I find the need to reiterate that. You're not. Well, it's a feedback loop. Chicken and egg kind of thing, actually, I suppose. Anything I wear, say, or do is feminine because I'm a woman. Right. Anything a man does is masculine because of what it is. Why is that so difficult? I don't know. And people have a tendency to make things symbolic and philosophical, and then you want to apply these traits to other things and call them feminine, and it gets starts to get woolly from there. But good luck getting people not to use that as a metaphor. Good luck. I mean, even so, it's a depression that seems to go away on cross-sex hormones, so I'm not fussed. Okay. But so who knows what that's doing to your brain, right? You don't know what that's doing to your brain. It alters your perception in a way that makes you happy. That's good. But it could just be a Band-Aid on whatever it is that was making you unhappy in the first place in your organic state, if you know what I mean. I can't say that was my discovery because I was never on the hormones, but I was using it as like a social crutch. A side effect of cross-sex hormones is euphoria. So feeling happy on a drug that makes you feel happy as a side effect tracks. Some women need extra testosterone to feel good. Some may need extra estrogen to feel good. I don't think that makes you a woman, not a woman or not a man. Yeah. You don't think it makes you a woman either. No, I know. No, you seem to actually be interested in like the truth of whatever the hell it is that's going on, which might be something weird. I'm open to that. I'm open to that. Obviously, not fussed about the labels. Well, that's what I'm saying. But these drugs do help people feel better if they work for that. But we don't have to change an entire society over it, right? Yeah. Pretty much anyone who takes drugs with euphoria as a side effect of euphoria, that doesn't mean doctors should give me cocaine or that I feel I have a coke deficiency. No idea who Betsy is. Oh. I don't know if I'd say it's euphoria. It's not like heroin or whatever where I take it and I feel bliss. I have a bad day, I still feel bad. Right, because that would be a tell, right? That would be a red flag if you just never had a bad day ever again and you were like, huh, at everything. After a while, that would get strange. I mean, life's pretty easy when you're chilled out on benzos all the time. I wouldn't recommend it as a lifestyle. Never been there either. Never been that either. Those things scare me. I don't know. I'm one of those people, like, my default setting is dozing, I think. Like, I have boring. So boring. If you look up these drugs, you will see euphoria listed among the side effects. It's not a weird mech opinion thing. I can agree on that for the most part. Okay. Gender and masculinity is a social hierarchical role based on your sex. Etymologically speaking, that's what gender's always been. It's not something innate. It's a social hierarchy imposed. Right. Yeah. And as I was saying this last week, I think I've come to see that inherent bias towards hierarchy as like a masculine thing. I just don't think a lot of women naturally think that way. Where you walk into any given situation and just automatically start ranking stuff. And then there have been times in my life when I've watched men do that and thought that it wasn't necessarily even appropriate to look at a situation that way. And suggested an alternative only to be met with blank stares, like as if I were completely insane, that I should pass up this obvious hierarchy that they were talking about. Okay. Your body didn't do anything wrong just because society has an overly narrow idea of how they want people to be. In most societies throughout time based on social conditioning. Yeah. Well, I'm like, okay. We must work within the lexicon that we have, right? I have my hair in a ponytail and I'm wearing a dress. Those are both things that I'm doing because it's hot outside. But they're also both things that are female, feminine coded, right? And I suppose could be interpreted either way. But am I doing, that is also just the options that are available to me. I suppose I could cut all my hair off, but I like my hair. I don't know. That's just what happens. It grows when you don't cut it. Is that feminine necessarily? Well, yup, because they benefit from ranking shit with them on top of said rank. No, I genuinely feel that, like, even if they're not at the top, they want to know. They need to know where their rank is so they know what to do. It is part of how they identify themselves. I really do feel that they need that reflected back at them because that's just how they think. And if they don't know their spot in some given hierarchy, then they don't know what they're doing. They feel out at sea. This is my observation. So true. They're always rating women, trying to one-up one another, playing stupid dominance games. It's whack. Right. Yeah. And, the idea that this just struck me across the face like a board the other week, watching something, one of these videos about how that's why they think that masculine approval is our highest currency and our highest desire, because it's theirs. They desire the approval and acceptance of other men. So of course they assume that we would. And we're not men, so we must be desperate dying for it because we can't even begin to validate ourselves. That's Freud right there, right? Penis envy. I think there's a mix of natural and biological factors that make up a person's personality, but we don't understand the specifics nearly well enough to consistently ID what is what. No, not even close, because we haven't been looking at that way, have we, at all? To be fair, I've not taken benzos or heroin or whatever to know the difference, but taking cross-sex hormones really doesn't feel like what those drugs sound like. Yeah, I haven't taken either. No, I haven't taken any of it. So this is a total outsider perspective. But no, I would not sit here and suggest that, that seems absurd. If only because you can live on hormones, right? Living with a heroin habit, I hear, is very difficult. It's not impossible, but it's not easy to, like, function that way, or with a bad benzo habit, like that's hard to do. Okay. And what you're describing is something that actually helps you function on a day-to-day basis, which is not that. So, yeah, that's why you take them. That's why you take them, right? It's because it makes life easier for you, not more difficult because you're addicted to them. This is not what you're describing at all. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Subscribe.
Huh?
Subscribe.
What?
Subscribe.
Subscribe? My 6-year-old wants everybody to subscribe. What are you doing out here, buddy? It's really, really hot. Why are you standing in the sun?
I know.
I love you. Go in the house. The things with drugs is they have a wide range of side effects. Even if you don't list the psychological ones as your main reason, doesn't mean they don't have those side effects. Yeah. Even men use the rating of women to benefit themselves by trying to snag a higher rated woman. Right. For the approval of other men. Men desperately work to win the approval of other men. Yeah, right. And so, of course, they assume that we would. Of course, they assume that we look at the world that way. That's rational, really. Yeah, I laugh my ass off. I'm not out here scratching myself in an alley like, hey, man, you got any estrogen? Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. No. But to be fair, I give zero shits what women think about me, too. Right, yeah, I don't think women feel that way. We don't look at the world that way organically a lot of the time. I really don't think most women think that way naturally. Yes, although I've actually considered trying antidepressants instead and seeing if that works. To be honest, cross-sex hormones make my dysphoria a little easier to manage. And I also like the side effects. You know, if it were me, I would be sorely tempted to do that. Just isolate it as a variable and, hit it off maybe. Just so, you tried that. What is it, baby boy?
Camera.
Yes, I love you. What is it?
Camera.
Uh-huh.
Everything is backwards. What you are seeing is backwards.
Yes. Why are you out here? Where are your dad? When your brother? Where are they? Oh. Listen, go inside. Or I'm going to kick both their butts when I get off here. You're getting them both in trouble right now.
What?
Your dad and your brother.
I thought you were talking about me being cool.
No?
Why are they getting in trouble?
Either one of them could be watching you and interacting with you and hanging out with you right now and playing with you. They know I'm supposed to be doing this for another hour and a half. Thank you. I do my best. We're going to the park later. There are a lot of functional addicts out there. Right. No, I'm just saying, from what I've heard, it makes life harder, not easier. Right? Is all really what I'm getting at. I might experiment with that after I've done my thesis thought. Though at the same time, about my own personal medical treatment, I kind of feel like if it's broken, if it's not broken, don't fix it, I assume you mean, instead of Freudian slip. If men didn't think liking the side effects of exogenous estrogen obligated me to role play with them and want them in my private spaces, I would care exponentially less what they did. That they did it. Yeah, not true. True. BRB. Okay. Ta-ta. Yeah, true. You want to inject yourself with something that makes you happier, that is, yeah, shouldn't be a concern, maybe, if anybody else's, and I think that's what some people are trying to make the argument, right? When somebody wants to cut their limbs off, well, that's their business. It's also the doctor's business, not necessarily mine, but it is also the doctor's business who you are asking to do that unethical thing for you, right? Cross-sex hormones have horrible physical effect. Yeah, they sure can. I don't know that that's true in every case. I wouldn't venture to say, but it can be very bad for you, like any other drug. I don't care about people taking it if they still just go about their business. I care when they want to impose their mess on me. You're right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're back. Hey. Where were we? It's getting hot out here. No, and you have your reasons for doing what you do, and I have my reasons for disagreeing, and I would never do that. And I'm glad that I did not do that. But we have to agree to disagree here. That's the one rule, right? Ironically. They insist I care about them taking hormones because they use this drug usage to try and rearrange my behavior and viewpoints. Right. If you want to make it my business, you get to find out how I really feel. Yep. That's pretty much what it amounts to. Mm-hmm. Doctors preying on people and charging them money to hurt them should be illegal. Right. Yeah. First, do no harm. If the person is healthy and functional, they don't need that. You know, a happy patient is literally being killed by a treatment is an issue. You don't get to blow up someone's heart on purpose and say, but they were happy. Right. Well, okay. Okay. Is happiness a good measurement? Okay. And, the anorexic is the obvious example there, right? Because the anorexics are usually the most miserable when they're starting to get better and gaining weight. When they're first beginning on their healing journeys, when anorexics are the most miserable, notoriously, right? Or like suicidal people, okay? Living, just being alive makes them unhappy. And they would be very happy. They would be just perfectly chuffed if they could, not be that. It's not an argument for indulging those things because it would make them happy. Yeah, no. Happiness is not a medical test. There's a slogan for you. Literally being killed is just an extremely dramatic description of stuff. Sometimes we rhetorically take things to their logical extremes. Are you pretending side effects of cross-sex hormones haven't literally killed people? That's your argument? Oh boy. The argument around anorexics, though, is that they're continuing to starve themselves reduces their life chances in other areas to such a degree that it's worth trying to avoid it. Right, it's obviously bad for them in the short term. Right? Side effects of aspirin have killed people. That's not a useful standard. Could that be like overdosing on aspirin? Yeah, I think adults should be able to do what they want, but taking high dose E or Z is dangerous, and we should also go back to doing thorough psychedels and mandatory therapy first. It's obviously not the case where everyone on cross-sex hormones drop dead, is it? I do agree with that. Okay. Especially, I think medical self-ID is dangerous. Oh yeah, like to the person involved, to the self-identified person involved. And I'm gonna have to go in the house and grab the fan, y'all. It is hot out here. It is so hot out here. I'm sorry. I will be right back. Ooh. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh my gosh. so hot. Oh yeah, now the breeze shows up. Oh, oh my goodness. Striking a balance with their anorexia in several months. Okay. Just with their weight and underweight but alive. I don't know if that analogy quite works. Right? No, it is. It's not the greatest metaphor. That's why gender dysphoria disorder is just a diagnosis from gender dysphoria in itself. Heck, they're not obsessed with gender. I call that one absolute bullshit. But ironically, how many long-term transsexuals do you know in real life? I'm not even pretending. Myself, 0. That's why I'm just sort of sitting on the sidelines. This is so much fun. Oh my god. I'm actually going to have to go back in the house. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Y'all, I will be right back. Oh my god. fun little interlude. I am so sorry. I'm going to see if I can get away with this for another hour. It's your she shed. Right, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Wouldn't that mean I'd have to transition to have one of those? No, you just can't call it that. I actually try drinking my ice water. That would probably help, right? Your warm room. I love that. That's awesome. Just got this stuff all over everywhere. In the cup, not on the cup. Yeah, I know, it's easy to say drink lots of water, and then you have to actually enact it. Which is, I'm distractible or something. Drink Gatorade. Well, this stuff has vitamins in it, see. I'm trying, really. See, there we go. We were talking about something interesting when I walked away, though. What was it? You guys remember? Brought an ice pack, too. Drink mojitos. Head for a lake and jump in. Yeah, there is a big lake near here. We were there the other day. Yep, it is summertime for sure. The anorexia analog. Yeah, analogy. Yeah, right. Which is all it is. It is an analogy. I do not mean to say that the two are exactly the same at all. Oh, and this thing is basically cold mush. It's already melted. That's so funny. No, I get you. And I actually think eating disorders furnish some useful comparanda for sex dysphoria. Comparanda. Is that a word or a typo? Because I like it either way. If it's not a word, it should be. And if it is, I need to know it. Karen Carpenter died of anorexia. It's never to be taken lightly. Oh, no, I know. And I don't know that anybody's ever died of gender dysphoria, per se. But technically speaking, Karen Carpenter died of heart failure, I think, right? Wonky. No, I like it. Comparanda, is that like things to compare, like comparison materials? Are you kidding me? I'm a writer. I love nerdy words. Both are based in dysmorphia, yeah. My air conditioning was broken for a few days, and I was taking cold showers multiple times per day. I hate the heat. Yeah. Comparanda means things which must be... Right. Comparison materials. Cool. Sounds Spanish. Yeah, it does. It sounds like a portmanteau of Carmen Miranda, doesn't it? In the same way as agenda means things that must be done. Right. I love it. It's gone off the screen. Please put it again. I love it. I love vocabulary words. Truly. You remember Karen Carpenter? Yeah. She died the year I was born. I'm not saying that to make you feel old. That, for some reason, hit me when I learned it. I'm like, oh my God. Due to anorexia, though. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it that way, every death is from heart failure, right? A lot of times when you see that on an autopsy report, it's because they don't know. They just sort of put that like, well, their heart stopped. We know that much. Oh, ice pack is a bit of a sad failure, actually. The fan helps a lot. If there was a breeze, it'd be a really nice day. High-dose tea is quite deleterious to heart health of females too. Right, yeah. We don't know, so it's hard feeling. Yeah, no, yeah. That's, they have to put something. In 35 or 40 years, we're going to have a bunch of self-ID trans people breaking bones, getting dementia, and or dropping dead from a heart attack and taking cross-sex hormones. Yes, comparanda is a real word. Comes from the Latin. Right. To compare things. I love it. I love it. I love it. um, and I think I read once that the levels trans. Yeah. Okay. I think I read once that the levels trans men are often put on are even higher than what is standard in natal males. So I don't even know why it's done. Yeah. You do. I mean, I don't mean to be vicious here, but like, if anybody knows why they would do that, it'd probably be you. Maybe it's an attempt to try to get a lot of the physical changes in faster. Yeah, maybe. I don't. You've already had a lot of them die from side effects or be disabled by them. Like, this is morbid as hell, but is there perhaps some sort of compendium or collection of cases, the way they have the This Never Happens collection for predatory trans women? Disabled? The idea that these drugs lack physically harmful side effects is the only argument should be philosophical or crap. Well, yeah, agreed. But I think at the end, at the heart of the whole thing is good old fashioned misogyny. Right, high doses are required to masculinize a female. It's cosmetic. Oh my god. We're also going to see a huge upsurge in brain dementia because of the gender transition procedures. Well, to be fair, Scott, it's the only kind of dementia that there is that I know of. But the brain is a delicate thing. Yeah. I do think misogyny is often a factor, especially when you get young teen girls transitioning because they want to avoid sexual harassment. Yes. Oh, good time. Isaac Uncooked. Oh boy. Just be butch, ladies. Yeah? Yeah, it's called Trans Crimes UK. Oh wow. They have a compendium of cases where people died because of their pursuit of this. Um, it tracks every crime committed by a trans woman. No. Like, I know we have a couple of those. No, is there anybody who's keeping track of the trans men and how all that's going? Wait, no. There. I did it. Seriously? Actual bona fide lunatic is evidence for your case. Which case is that? I have to say, Isaac. Right. Isaac is an unreliable source. He does have some solid videos, reading studies, and his conclusions have been dubious at times. Everything I've seen and come out of that boy's mouth is dubious, and that's, yeah. Ex-Lansing talks a lot about side effects and things, because I don't exactly trust him to give me information. Yeah, right. Yeah, different kinds than brain dementia. Wait, what? Gosh darn it! I can't get this thing. Go away. Oh, unpinned message. That's probably what I want. I didn't mean to do that, whatever that was. I'm sorry. You don't have to trust him. You can fact check things. Nearly every single your TIF is the result of male harassment, so this makes it a men's problem. Yeah. I think went off rails to Cuckoo Land. Yeah. As for websites compiling trans folk deaths, I'm not aware of one off the top of my head. Does anyone here know of one? I don't know. I have a lot of the autoimmune conditions he claims he has, and he describes them very well. It's frustrating to me that people would choose these things when I had no choice. Transphobic deaths connected to the hormonal surgical treatment. Right. Last I saw, Isaac is begging for a girlfriend. It was weird. Most efforts in regards to side effects of these meds and people harmed are efforts to minimize them because it's politically useful. Right. So this information is actually hard to find. I've noticed that too. The idea that anyone's collected it in one place. It's been a while since I've looked, but as far as I know, no one has. And what a depressing thing that was. California Department of Corrections is having their first baby. Oh my god. That should cost the taxpayers a fortune. A female prisoner was impregnated by a trans woman that was moved. Prisoners cannot consent. Right. I can't listen to Isaac Uncooked for more than 30 seconds because he's so fragmented in his thinking and he just drones on and on. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched his videos because he needs help and I can't help him. It's frustrating. At least in the UK, it really isn't politically useful. Our leftist party is only begrudgingly conceding some points to the trans rights activists. Right, because, again, British politics and American politics are inherently different in a lot of ways. I thought that pinned message was my doing, and I was trying to swipe it away until he said something. I was trying to scroll back up because you guys are saying so much so quickly I can't keep up. But I'm not complaining. Oh, it'd be much easier for them not to. Doggone it. Not to what? See? The info being hard to find doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means you have to go at it. Right. You'd have to collect it yourself, and I am not up to that task right now. No. That would absolutely drive me off a cliff. No. I haven't watched him in a bit because he's an exhausting person. Right, yeah. Yep, they're not putting in the news, you might notice. My best friend is an innocent guest there. I saw a Buck Angel video recently about the trans women and women's privilege issue in California. Sounds like a real nightmare. Also because I just decided to spend less time on this issue for my own reasons. Yeah. No, you need something else in your life besides this to focus on. That is for sure. It sounds like you might know some websites for it. Goodness, I'm sorry for your friend. I hope she stays safe. Yeah. And he's very unwell and a massive troll. It's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. Yeah, I don't know. I think massive trolls must be unwell somehow. That's like an antisocial behavior. To just go around fucking with people. And there's something amiss there just anyway. Grandma's right. He needs something else to focus on. Right? We all do. That's what I'm saying. I have my things, and I fully expect other people to have stuff that they just walk the fuck away from and go do something else, for a while. Now and then. It's a hobby and a skill. Well, we all do. That's what I'm saying. We all do. One of my most disliked videos was on Isaac Uncooked when I said we shouldn't be pressuring him to transition or detransition. I legitimately have no idea what's best for him. Yeah. And I don't think that he does either. So either way, you're not going to get a reliable report no matter what happens. Bo, we're working on getting him exonerated after 30 years. Oh, wow. He was at the scene of a crime when he was 18. He didn't even know the shooter, and they gave all 4 kids that didn't run life. Wow. He's obviously unwell, and his mental issues tend to correlate with an uptick in his physical issues. He was ranting about taking down TERS. Didn't work. No, Mech, I'm asking if you know the names of any websites which compile trans deaths, which can be attributed to their hormonal or surgical treatments. I'd be interested in looking. Right. So, the way TERFs have compiled other uncomfortable things. Dude thinks he's an anime protagonist. Yeah. The thing about people with mental health issues is that they often act crazy. Go figure. Just because I don't want to watch him do that doesn't mean I'm going to suggest he's fake. Oh, yeah. No. Being poor and Sacramento. In the 90s, when the police decided you were in a gang if you were just riding bikes with your friends. That's awful. Yeah, I wish I had more to say on that topic. I do. Thank you for sitting through the ads. But the fan is helping a lot. I think we might make it, you guys. So I don't have to take you in the house. Where, not only is it stuffy and messy in there, but also People are just going to walk behind me if I sit in the kitchen. People are going to be randomly on camera, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes to just not be able to walk through the kitchen if that's they want to be on live camera. They don't compile trans hardly at all after treatment. It would be hard to collect data. Yeah, no, and like, okay, apparently in the UK, if you get your sex officially recognized by the government as having changed, you are given a new government ID number. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work that way here in the States. But so that was my understanding of why a lot of that follow-up information is missing, is because they can't trace them. Okay. And the adult clinics that absorbed these child patients as they aged out with these new numbers didn't hand over the data. And they couldn't trace it. He knew how to stare at a wall. We have to go for yearly checkups. Yes, such data is rarely collected, especially in the U.S. Right, yeah. But so then, like, if you're just recorded, if you have your sex change recognized by the government, then you just disappear into the statistics. Okay. So you are just a woman among millions of other women, or a man among millions of other men. See? And he said the place is full of young guys coming in that suddenly think they're girls. The older guys are just disgusted. Most of them are sex offenders. Oh, wow. It's illegal in the Netherlands to own only one rabbit. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, Joe, what were you talking about? That's crazy. How do I get back up there? There we go. Ha 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 ha. What did Joe say? He's a great grandson of a Japanese monk, and that probably saved his life. He knew how to stare at a wall without going crazy. Wow. I feel like there would be a lot of data on us. Right. But so it is not labeled as such. It is not categorized as such. And that's a lot of the issue that even people who support trans rights have with officially, legally recognizing the sex change like that, is that then they statistically disappear. Changing legal sex is problematic. Right, yeah. Okay. Human beings are tribal. It's incredibly cruel for some animals. Yeah. He's saying a lot of the new intake to the men's prisons are young trans-identifying males. Crazy Candy. Hey, Sarah, I didn't see you come in. I agree with that policy. I will only get animals that appear as cruel otherwise. Yeah. Well, they become trans-identifying after about a year in men's prison. That's weird. I'm all for it as well. I love animals. Right, yeah. If she's here, critical if she's here. Is that true for cats as well? I've heard some cats are okay on their own. I do. I think it depends on the animal. Because, yeah, cats tend to be territorial and don't necessarily like sharing space. So, but the best thing you can do to make your cat unhappy is bring home another cat. You might be able to find some case studies of early deaths, though, right? Oh, right, yeah, that whole thing. Oh, right, yeah, that whole thing about how they start trans-identifying after about a year in men's prison? What, they just want to get out? What is it, baby doll? What is it, baby doll?
I love you.
I love you, too. And I'm going to kick your dad's butt when I get off of here. He should be playing with you right now. What is he doing?
He told me to get dressed.
Then go get dressed. Why are you out here? He probably wants to take you, go get lunch or something. Some cats are okay on their own, especially in the wild. Condom machines up in the prisons?
I'm really not in the mood to go out right now.
Why?
I just woke up.
No, you didn't. You've been up for hours.
How?
Time flies when you're having fun. We're not paying attention. Right. No, if they're litter mates, that is definitely an exception to that. Go tell your daddy this. Maybe tell him more calmly than you told me.
What?
Go tell your dad what you just told me, but do it more calmly. You know? One of my goals for 2025 is to get a cat, but I'll probably look at getting two then. Yeah. They're predators. They're gonna go where their prey is. If they can get away with it, even in prison. Oh, we're not talking about cats now. Oh, it sounds so adorable. Good cats, yeah. Well, but see, on the other hand, we have a sort of a middle-aged female cat who we'd had for several years. And like, I did not get her. I inherited her from a crazy friend of ours. Long story short, um, we kind of dumped her on us, but we'd had her for several years. And then our daughter brought in a young male cat, and our fixed middle-aged female cat was not happy and is still not happy. Like, gosh, almost a year later, that cat that he is here. She does not like that he is. It's not like we got her a little brother. That has not been her reaction to that at all. I hear a lot of them don't even take HRT because that would stop their precious knobs getting hard. I've heard that too. I fully will. I'm a massive cat person. I've just not been able to have cats because I've moved around every year for my PhD research. I have a brother-sister pair. Brought home a kitten when they were like 6 years old. It took a while, but there is harmony between them now. The boys are very sweet together. The girl just needs her space. Yeah. They just say they're women. They don't do much of anything but grow their hair. They don't think they're women. They're playing the system. Okay. So they want to get out of men's prison is what they want then, right? Don't get me started on the future of cat people again. We have time. We have time. And this isn't the important thing. The important thing is their victims, but it's insulting to trans women also. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. The thing about things that are objectively bad is they are usually bad for most people. That's what makes them objectively bad. I think. I mean, oh gosh. I'm tired, y'all. I was up until 2 o'clock making that video last night. I think it's starting to catch up with me. I have seen some of these dress up in like pigtails and crop tops and bright lipstick and shit with a full beard. It's like someone doing a parody of us. What a relatable sentiment that is. It's making things bad for all queer people. Oh my gosh. I think people like that just have different degrees make it bad for all people. Like really, they're just. How do you think it makes women feel? Right, yeah. Saw news proclaiming that some of these trans inmates are buying tampons from the prison commissary. Like, okay, razors and makeup, whatever. What the fuck are they even using tampons for? Oh no, that's what they're using the tampons for. I readily admit to having very little experience personally with the prison system. Thank goodness. If they've got money, they can buy whatever they want from commissary. They get catalogs. They can spend $250 a month. Wow. To think that you'd spend that on something you don't have any real need of. Well, and not in a situation like that. That's a bit loopy, right? That's loopy. Tampons are good for blending like you're drawing with charcoal. Yeah. Interesting. I'm probably not going to mention that to my artist, my 16-year-old artist son. He draws every day. He's very good and probably would not want to learn that from me. But he's the first one I thought of. But a lot of the guys don't have money. So it becomes the Hunger Games. They trade. Fantastic. On American Dad, it says use them as a toothbrush. I know. American Dad is one of those shows I feel is just not terrifically educational. They let the strings hang out in the shower and make sure other guys can do them. Oh my god. Girlfriend. I'm assuming your friend told you this stuff. Oh, girlfriend. I did not need to know that. It's hilarious though. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Family Guy is hilarious? I mean, yeah. But not educational. And to be fair, Seth MacFarlane has never claimed to be an educator. No. You know, I don't even mean that as a criticism. It's just an observation that shows it's not truthfully educational. Now I hate Family Guy. American Dad is way better. It's weird. That's one way of putting it. That reminds me, I need to find one of these trans women who are obsessed with tampons and menstruation and have a coffee date to pick their brain. Dude, would it be like gauche of me to ask you to report back on that? Because I am the sort of weirdo that's legitimately curious in other people's weirdness. I'm legitimately curious about other people's weirdness, and not just as a not just in a oh my god, what a freak show kind of a way either. Like I really want to. I love abnormal psychology and trying to figure out how weirdos tick because I am one in a lot of ways. So I don't know. I think that's where that comes from. Come back and let us know. Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm a South Park fan. Made way funnier. Right on. Would be interested to find out what the deal with the tampon. Yeah. Is it as crazy as it looks? Because there's that saying, crazy like a fox. I'm not saying this is the case here, but it is possible that sometimes in life you look at somebody else's behavior and go, that's insane. And so you get to talk to them about it. What's going on? Wait, do you know where own tables are? Unfortunately, I don't. Are they not in the living room? Did you look under the couch? And the coffee table? Yes. Look under the couch. In your bedroom. I don't know where they are. I'm sorry. When my son was a teenager, he used to get nosebleeds, and he'd walk out of the bathroom with one of my tampons in his nose all the time. He thought it was hilarious. Yeah. I mean, I already had one with a sissy fetishist. After that day, I was like, oh, I get why TERFs hate us now. Damn. I'm obviously curious about male psychosexual bullshit law. Yeah. And after a while, I lose my patience for that stuff. It's more about the general humanity of it all. For me, anyway. People are messed up. Yeah, they are. Like Bored Girls episode of South Park where they had the trans cast. Yeah. One I would be very curious to interview is Dylan Mulvaney. Oh my gosh. See, there's no way you're going to get a straight answer on that guy. And I just want to ask him, really, dude? Really? Really, though? Like carrying around tampons is risky about the people. Why? For the optics of it. South Park is great, especially with the trans stuff. Yeah, right. I don't fault anyone else having interest in anything that doesn't interest me, but I feel like women are expected to indulge way too much in male degeneracy, and I resent it, and I absolutely agree. Actually, my 18-year-old daughter thinks it's funny to make random D's nuts jokes, and I absolutely did lose my patience with that the other day because I was in the middle of trying to say something to somebody else, and she just blurts out D's nuts. I'm like, girlfriend, can I just go one day of my life without having to think about random male genitals? Can I please just have one day? You would be amazed at how difficult that is. I do. I get it. I do. like I say, when I look at it that way, I have very limited patience for it. But it's more the humanity of it, And if you look at it from a male perspective, it's sort of interesting because they are capable of a level of self-absorption most women just aren't, because of probably societal pressures and whatever. But like, they are encouraged in their self-absorption sometimes to just an amazing degree that I can't help. It's like watching a train wreck. It's just fascinating to me. I don't know. Before and in the early years of my PhD, I basically dated for the human interest of it. Nice. Way to try to get female camaraderie someday. To try to get female camaraderie some way? Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Watch Melanie Hamlet. She's so funny and also unbelievably correct about men. Let's see. I told my mom to get off my nuts yesterday and it confused the fuck out of her. Right. See, and I have actually tried to get to winnow the random like masculine metaphors from my speech, because I don't have nuts, do I? No one can get off my nuts. I don't have any, so it's just silly to say that. And that's just a thing for me. I feel silly saying stuff like that. No, and also, like I say, I used to like think I was a dude, and I used to get this little like twinge of pride when I would say stuff like that. Like, so now I just don't. Like I say, that's me. Though I imagine for the ones who really do, you have a burning desire just to be accepted. I could see that gaining some kindness from women because we are nice. Yeah, I get coffee dates with folks from all different parts of the trans community and adjacent communities. Get off my labes. Yeah. I can't imagine any other mammal has this much struggling to figure out how to be what they are. No, no, no. But on the other hand, no other animal does a lot of the weird shit humans do, so my labes. And also, I love it. True. And there's also a big difference between early transition behavior and later. Like, I'm way more chill now than I was 5 years ago. Cats just know they're awesome. I'm glad to hear that for you. Yeah. Yeah. Early on, I could see people desperately trying to forge any connection with women they can. Yeah. Well, and Dylan Mulvaney is one of those. He's very easy to project your own thing onto. Because, like I say, I look at that and I see somebody who's doing it all for the optics. And I have this disgusting feeling that he knows it. You know? He does not strike me as someone who is in any way genuine or doing any of this out of a genuine impulse for anything other than attention and adoration. I'm going to go for a walk later, and there's this one really friendly neighborhood cat, and I hope he's out so I can pet him. Aw. I hope he's in the mood for pets. Yeah, same. We should come over here and pet mine. That black one that you've seen a couple of times is will love on anybody. And I guess they're going to go get some lunch. So, that's all. Oh, he always is. He's one of those magical ones. Yeah, and, I've had a couple of people over the years tell me that they hate cats. Which, I mean, it's not like you talking about trans people. Do you know any? Like, cats definitely each have, their own individual temperament, just like people. I have a nice cat and an asshole cat that you're welcome to visit anytime you're in Indiana. Right, yeah. Or if you come to Tennessee, you're more than welcome to come and pet my cat. He will love you for it. One time I was coming back with my shopping and I wanted to give him a treat, so I just dumped out a tin of tuna, but he didn't even eat it. He just gave her heads and scratches. He probably went back and ate it later, right? Yeah, people who hate cats or dogs are red flag, yeah. hating animals, really hating anything other than someone who has terribly wronged you or something that makes your life miserable. Otherwise, why are you bothering? Why are you carrying that around? Yeah. Narcissists really have pets because they require too much, get and don't give enough because they can't feel love. Oh, see, that's not been my experience at all. Are you kidding me? Especially dogs. Narcissists love dogs because the dog's going to love you no matter what you do to it. It will cuddle with you. It will follow you around like you're the most important person in the world. Okay? And all you have to do is feed it. See, wouldn't you love to be like a cat? Melded cat, Mabel. Yeah. I'm sold. We said that a couple weeks ago. There's a whole subreddit committed to hating dogs. It's the strangest thing. Just don't have them. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Around here, we don't have that luxury. I don't know. I was out here at 1:30 in the morning last night putting that video together, trying desperately not to listen to the television of my neighbors across the street. So, human beings are a problematic species. We're parasites. So is an infant. Right? My mother actually said to me that when she wanted to have a baby and dress her up and have her do what you want, she was really imagining a dog. Right. I was like, Mom, did you just say I'm a bad puppy? Sorry to disappoint. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And, dogs, you don't ever have to worry about them growing up and moving away and becoming functional members of society. That's because she must be getting something from them. She doesn't really care about them if she's truly... No, yeah. I once heard Anna Kasparian talk about her loving dogs so much because they love you unconditionally, and that did strike me as a weird reason. Yeah. I said this before, and I know this is a weird opinion, but that's why I don't want any more. I don't want to get another. I don't want any. I don't. An animal that has been specifically bred to love me unconditionally is perhaps a crime against nature. Like, I don't know. I'll be real. In the southeast where I live, dogs attack a lot. Lost one pet, nearly another, and have been chased up trees twice. I am more of a cat person. Wow. Yeah. After experiences like that, who wouldn't be? Holy shit. I literally had a friend in high school whose reason for wanting kids was that they'll always love me. She has 5 now. That's a terrible reason to have kids. Yeah. It's hard to get a read on her outside of professional context, but I'll say the love dogs gives is a common reason people give. Yeah. The love dogs give is a common reason people want to do that. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying it's like a red flag necessarily to... and I understand that some people are like terrifically bonded to their dog and like, great. If you love that dog back unconditionally, then good for you. Good for you. Maybe that's, it could be a beautiful relationship that, doesn't have the strings attached that a human relationship might. Right? Okay, fine. I don't know. I'm just a loner, maybe. I don't want something that wants that kind of attention from me all the time. I had to deal with her when she worked for Bernie Sanders' campaign. She's horrible. What? Oh. It almost guarantees your kids are going to move far away as soon as it... Yeah. Would be interested in Rad Mom and other people's perspectives, but do you think there's an element of unconditional love instilled in your children just because you've done so much for them? No, I think the unconditional love is instilled because you are the parent. It's an instinctive, so incredibly gut level, basic thing, elemental thing, where like you're programmed to love the people who are supposed to take care of you, and it's supposed to be mutual. Right? It's hardwired. I can't think of another way to put that. Dogs expect too much. Cats will tell you to fuck off. I respect that. Yeah. Right. That's right. I'm just more of a cat person in like my temperament. I am more like a cat in my temperament. If you're a loving parent who doesn't use your children, they will love you always. Right. No, but so even if you're not, even if you are a horrible, abusive person to your children, That's one of the worst things about that kind of thing is you cannot help but love your parents. You might hate them too, but that's why. Because you can't help but care for them. Right. You still love your dad, and you shouldn't because he was extremely abusive. That's exactly what, of course you do. And I would never judge you for that. I personally don't think children owe their parents anything. Anything they give us is just a yeah, right. Agreed. And I don't, my mom used to do this thing where she would be like, okay, I'm going to give you the money for this bill, and you're going to sign this piece of paper that says you're going to pay me back. I'm like, so you're gifting me with debt? Thank you. That's real helpful. I'm 22. What, you know. So, yeah, I certainly don't consider my kids to owe me anything. That's terrible. They didn't ask to be born. You take on that responsibility. For half a year, I was living with this woman whose cats basically adopted me. That's right, you talked about that. She let me use her old office to write my thesis, and the cats would come chill with me, my little research assistants. Aww. Now I never knew my dad. Don't wanna. Why bother? Don't care. We have a deep and abiding desire to feel loved by our parents because instinctively as babies, we can't survive without it. Exactly. My therapist said the same thing. So true. Right. Exactly. And so that is what causes when you feel rejected by them or they are neglectful or abusive to you. That is why that hurts so much. And why, even as a fully functional adult, it is so hard to just walk away from them. Because you cannot help but care for them. You can't help it. That's just it's built in. Which you want to talk about red flags. I have definitely met people who did not behave that way, who behaved as if their abusive, family of origin was something that they had just walked away from entirely. And I'm just like, okay, sure you did. You didn't bring them with you in your heart at all. No, you're not a human being. Good Lord. I'm one of the few women I know who was unconditionally loved by her parents and supported in every way by her father, and it makes such a difference to who you are in the world. That's amazing for you. Yeah. I've noticed that as somebody who wasn't. I mean, my dad did not. My dad's kind of a unique case because I seem to have been his golden child. Okay? So that's a weird situation when you have a very narcissistic person who treats you like you can do no wrong, and the person standing right beside you like they're invisible. That's a weird situation to find yourself in, even as a kid, right? That's weird. And of course, my sister pointed it out. My kids and I get along great, and they're in their 30s. That's awesome. So you pass that functionality, if you will, on. That's great. My mother's been difficult. My mother has been difficult about my choice of transition, but I know she still loves me through it all. And I do oftentimes think that's given me a kind of confidence and settledness that others lack. That you can just be confident that love is not going to go anywhere. It is not conditional, right? Which enables you to ironically sort of take it for granted. Which, as one of this is why I know that like motherhood philosophy does not exist, okay? Because that's one of those philosophical contradictions of life that you just go on and on about, right? You can just mine that for endless symbolism and poetry. That contradiction where if you do your job right as a mom, it's like, the most effective way, one of the reasons you know you're doing your job the best is because nobody notices, Excuse me. Oh. Humidity. It's great for the old sinuses. I can imagine for her. It must feel very much like you're rejecting her unconsciously, and that she's using the little boy she loved. I can't imagine that. Yeah, right. My dad's love is conditional. If he's sober, he loves us. If he's drinking, he hates everyone. Right, and that's a condition you have no control over. So that's fun. Yeah, for a few months I went no contact with her because I just couldn't handle her trying to pressure me to detransition. Yeah, but she probably can't help but feel that way, you know. My mother said it was her job to teach me how to leave her successfully and happily. It makes it so much fun to come back when your parents are that way. I reestablished contact because my siblings said my mother was tearing apart from the absence. It's been a rocky process, but we're learning to find a way that things work. That's good. I mean, you actually love one another and stuff. That's good. Like, I've learned to set boundaries to keep things working between mother and I. Yeah. Much love to you both as you work through it. Yeah. I'm sorry he's like that, Candy. Yeah. I doing Coke Red hardcore? What? I'm good now because I don't live with him. So if he starts yelling, I'm gone. Yeah. Yeah. But so, if you were anybody but your dad, you probably wouldn't even be back there to put yourself in that situation and have to leave. Right? No, that's what I'm saying. As a parent, this is a dereliction of duty on his part. That's one of the hardest things about being a parent is you have to find a way to deal with your own shit while not dumping it on, the little ones who are around you all the time. I probably borrowed the same $1,000 from my parents about 20 times, and my dad would always try to not let me give it back. And I would say, keep it for the next time, and he would laugh. Like, again, if they want to pay me back, I'm not going to deny them that, I guess, but I'm not going to demand it either. That's so terrible. Yeah, like I try to help mother as much as I can, especially because she's one of these trad types for whom her children are everything. So she doesn't really enjoy life if her kids aren't involved. Oh, wow. Yeah, if it was just some dude, I could easily cut all ties. Exactly. I've met so many people who talk about how they just walked away from their family of origin, and they have their found family now, and so they don't need to worry about that. And it's like, okay, who are you trying to convince, Whenever my dad gives me money or anything, I see it as reparations. Nice. Like once a week, mother and I go to the British Library to study. We bring food and have a little picnic. And mother loves the food then. But on her own at home, she eats crackers because she doesn't care. Ugh. Which, like, uh, and this is, if that were me, I feel like I would know. I have noticed these things about myself where, it's like, wow, I just kind of don't really feel like eating or care about that at all. I think something's amiss there. Like, I wonder what's up with that, It reminds me of my mom. Oh, wow. She'll take care of everyone else but not herself, which is so unhealthy, just to put mildly. Just to be generic about it. That's not healthy, right? And you want to say that that's a feminine thing. I want to say that that's a feminine thing, but it's not. It's not. It's a martyrdom complex, and there are definitely men who have those. It takes a different form, where a lot of times they just try to work themselves to death and deny themselves human emotional comforts and shit like that. Yeah, and when I went for the brain scan, she went with me. Oh, good, to the airport, seemingly just for the company. We got coffee, and she asked to take the come home. That's a memento for the day. Oh, see, and I do feel that puts too much pressure on you. Then that's not fair. That she is an empty vessel without you. That's not fair. It's because that's what women's role is, breeders, caretakers, and that's your identity, nothing more. Right, but what I'm saying is that there is a masculine version of this same self-destructive, like, overindulgence in that kind of thing. It's difficult as a mother can be sometimes, as difficult as mother can be sometimes, there is something comforting about having someone be such a mega fan of me in that regard. Oh yeah. No. I'm not saying not to be a mega fan, but it's there. It's okay to have other passions in life. It's more than okay. I think it's really good for a person, everyone, to have other passions in life besides their relationships, just in general, right? You should have something that you can do alone in a room and be perfectly happy. That's very much what mother's conservative Catholic culture told her, yeah. I think the traditional male equivalent is the men who work themselves to death, right, at a job they hate to give their family an extra holiday. Yes, exactly. Exactly. There is the masculine equivalent. Because we're all human. And I like to try and remember that, Having your only passion or hobby be relationships with other people is an issue. Right, exactly. That is a trap that women do tend to fall into. Right. Because a lot of times we are seen as selfish if we develop any, interests that are too engrossing, you know, anything we can't put down and see to the needs of other people really quickly. uh, you're wholly codependent, right? Yeah, right. Living in a capitalist society. Gotta love to hate it. Oh, did you get another ad? I'm sorry. Men fall in that too sometimes. Right. I dated one dude who basically had no hobbies and no friends. It was a mistake. Absorbed way too much of my energy. Yeah. Right. No, we're all human. That's what I'm saying. I was like his only entertainment or emotional support or anything, and it started to feel like a job. Yep. 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 I had a boyfriend like that. So many dudes have no friends at all. It's sad, and that sounds like an exhausting relationship for you to be in. So much work for you. Yeah, right. And I mean, the thing is, even if a guy has friends, he probably doesn't, talk about important emotional issues with them, right? That's still going to be your job as the girlfriend/wife, right? Because all the emotional labor is up to the woman. Meg, my daughter, is getting a divorce for that exact reason. She doesn't want to spend the rest of her life being somebody's mother and therapist. No, this is absolutely true, man. Like, that's why dumb men get cat. Become cat people. Won't stop advocating that. You stick to your guns there. That's what I do. I would expect nothing less. I didn't want to be the one to say, but yes. The 4B movement is growing and seriously pissing red pill men off. Oh yeah. Well, it's sort of the antithesis of their whole thing, right? It was so exhausting. He also had serious mental health challenges to the point there were multiple hospitalizations on his part. It was hell in single sense. Ooh, yikes. Not taking up another pet man anytime soon. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I've known women who would just love that kind of shit, who just thrive on that kind of shit. And I don't think that's healthy. The 4B movement, yeah, is probably a response to a lot of the red pill shit, frankly, right? You know, I don't, I can't wait for somebody to talk about the trad wife to like 4B pipeline, right? What's her name? Lauren Southern is already halfway there, right? One thing I found, if I wanted a crazy pet big enough to end me, if it had a bad or enough day, wolves and tigers are right there. That's true. One thing I found curious as I got further into transition was dudes opening up to me about emotional stuff in ways they never did before. Hey, Belle, can I talk to you about something personal? If Florence Southern becomes 4B, that'd be hilarious. The red pill to 4B pipeline. I can see it, I can see the path. I don't know that anyone's actually walked it yet, but I can see it. I think Lauren Southern is actually really important to have as a voice out there. I should look into her more. As it stands, I am confused. Who knows? Maybe she'll be next week's guest, huh? Who knows? She's someone who agreed with the trad stuff, still does in many ways, but she can serve as a warning for the girls being seduced. Right, by the euphemisms of complementarianism. Right. Melanie Ham is the person to watch. Okay, she has figured it out and is not afraid to tell the truth. If I had a dime for every stack of drama men dropped on me, I'd be rich. That's one reason I don't even adopt more men as friends at this point. Hammett. Okay, Melanie Hammett. Yeah, I know. You keep recommending her, and I'm just going to write that down because I keep forgetting. Hammett. Oh, bye, kitty. Oh, doggone it. Have a good week. So I got to go here in a minute myself. They're out of the house, so I might actually get the opportunity to have some quiet. Men are so used to getting buckets full of women's free labor emotional. Right. And otherwise they take it for granted. Right. And that's the entitlement that they are loath to give up. And, they don't realize this. They don't talk about unconscious things. It's only when they feel a threat to it that they really start to become aware of this. Right? So that's fun. I don't know that a lot of people don't have. Mecca, you made an interesting point about how you don't have a lot of patience for, men's psychosocial bullshit. And the reason that I do sometimes is because I think it's fun to demonstrate that I do understand what I'm talking about. It is the nuggets that I have managed to mine in my experience, my journeys through the gender jungle, as I like to call it. I just want you to watch her because she's going to make you laugh and feel so validated. Sweet, awesome. I agree. Find it fun and fascinating myself. Right, yeah. Well, and, technically speaking, you have more of a reason to be interested and knowledgeable about the male psyche than I do. I spent years putting a lot of time into men's issues. I had male friends for years, used to date more. I have hundreds of hours of time listening. Yeah. No, I'm sure you do. It was a thing. So I understand. You made a valid point. But sometimes that is not why we're here, right? I haven't smoked in a year and a half, but every time I watch you, I wish I had one. I wish I'd quit when I was your age. Oh, I know. That's one of those things that's big time stewing in my mind right now. I always spark up a joint when I see anyone smoke. Do you perhaps live somewhere it is legal to do that? Because I do not, sadly. And I hate to think that I am a bad role model. I hate to think that I'm sitting here tempting anyone to indulge in this awful, evil habit, because it is. It's an awful, evil habit, and I don't like it. Congrats on quitting, though. I hear it's really hard. Yeah. I'm going to sit here and smoke this anyway. It's not legal here. I couldn't afford it if it was. Oh. I don't know. Most places, when they legalize it, they make it so you can grow a little bit of your own. And then I figure that would save some money. Is legal weed more expensive than when it's illegal? I mean, If that's the case, then that would be bad. That's bad. That's bad. They need to outprice the black market or at least match it, or the black market's not going to go away. That's dumb. Thanks. I'd like to take more credit, but I quit things very easily. I don't struggle like most people, so I don't really have an excuse. No, I did quit once for 4 months. And then, well, my dad did something absolutely balls to the wall insane, and I just needed to smoke. It's terrible. Luckily, once it's legal here, I'll grow more because I have great growing conditions and my plants come out gorgeous. Oh, awesome. The taxes are outrageous. That's why I have a medical card, no tax. Nice, nice, nice. But like, truly though, and this was part of the discussion when, in lead up to beginning to legalize the stuff in the first place, was that they needed to at least match the prices of the black market or they were not going to be able to get rid of it. I tried growing my own, but the cats keep eating it. That sounds like a good time. Did they have fun? Yeah, right. One more ad break, and then we're going to say goodbye because it's 2 o'clock. Stupid ads. Thank you for sitting through them in advance. Here, we have 35 seconds till another ad break, and then we're going to wrap it up, you guys, because, oh my gosh, I might actually have the house to myself for 10 minutes. Yeah, it affects the same sensors in their brains as catnip. Doesn't work the other way around, though. Trust me, I've tried. Yeah, right? Furry little bastards. They're so lucky, right? That's funny. Like everything else, legal drugs are for rich people. Oh. Stone kittens. That sounds like a great, like, where's that cartoon, Seth MacFarlane? Like, I would watch at least a couple of episodes of that. Almost everything is legal if you're rich, because most legal jeopardy can be escaped by paying enough money. Yes. Yes. That's laws are for poor people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. And that is obviously a flaw with the system, right? Obviously, that's theoretically not how that's supposed to be. Rule of law, my ass, right? I think some people do want to be wealthy just so they can do whatever they want, right? I think that's definitely a motivator for some people. Well, and like buy whatever they want. I don't mean go on vacation. Like I always assume bought an island implies the most dangerous killing. I don't know if I would go that far. It might just mean you're a nudist. I've definitely had that conversation with more than one person when they fantasized about buying their own island just so they could walk around naked all the time. What do you need that much privacy for? Yeah, watch Fritz the Cat. It's about a stoner cat. Hey, I remember Fritz the Cat. You mean Pete the Cat? Give me a nudist with a tall fence and a private beach. You don't need a whole damn island for that. See, Stone Kitten sounds like a sexy band name. It does. It does. It does. See, okay, here in Tennessee, you can become a sex offender if somebody catches you peeing in the woods. So, like, no. But that's, I guess, a different issue. I'm just saying, there are reasons I've heard people say that they would like their own island other than hunting humans. No, I said fence. No, I know there are no fences in the woods. But what I'm saying is, like, I've heard stories. There was a fella who apparently was at the registry here for answering the door in his underwear. So, because he'd been asleep, you know. But I think they should be much more stringent about that stuff because it waters down the whole concept. Like, what if you pee your pants? Like, with your pants up, is that still illegal? Laws are weird. Yeah, they are. And there's a whole Reddit community about children who are raised in nudist communities. Interesting. Personally, I would find that impressive. I am not a nudist. And, like, again, I've done a whole lot of personal exploration on this. It's not because I'm, like, ashamed. I don't know. I don't want my sensitive parts hanging in the wind. Like, that makes me uncomfortable. Okay. Even if I'm alone, it's not how I'm comfortable. I don't know. In some cities, it's illegal to be barefoot. What if you don't own any shoes? Well, that just sounds like one of those things that's made to penalize homeless people. Let's just say they almost all complain about having been sexually harassed, having witnessed adults in sexual situations, and terrible stuff like that. Oh, fun. Sounds like a horrible, horrible idea. Yeah. Sounds super discriminatory. Yeah. So I don't trust folks who can't be naked in the private of their house. Yeah. I mean, my ideal living situation is many, many acres of woods between me and everyone else, which is not an island, admittedly. That seems like a bit much. I don't get why everybody would want to have to sit where other people's junk has been. I mean, come on, gross. That's a good point, too. Why do you need to be naked outside your house on a regular? I don't. And that's one of those things where I have just kind of had to sit back and go, okay, I just don't get that. Bugs, poison ivy, sand, and unmentionable places. Yeah, I feel like you're quoting something now. I've heard this rant before. No, yeah. No, I don't. I don't. Like I say, I am not a nudist myself. I have discovered this. As a woman, you're like, am I just ashamed of my body? No. No, it is. I don't want to be directly exposed to the world. I like the having a fabric between me and everything else. I like that. I'm a fan of that, personally. Um, for, like, yeah, the sitting where other people's junk has been is something you don't think about until it's about to happen, and you're just like, oh god, like at the gym or something. That can be a little dicey, right? My shoulders are pointy. That's so weird. I think the clothing provides some kind of useful barrier both socially and practically. Yeah, right. It can serve a lot of functions, and I'm a fan personally, generically speaking, of clothes. Which is a funny place to end it, but I think I'm gonna. I've had guys honk, pull over, try to drag me in their cars, and all that just because I tried taking a walk in a short skirt. Oh my god. I don't even like being naked unless I'm in the shower. It feels weird to me to walk around without clothes on. Exactly. Seems so impractical. Yeah, right. And it's one of those human things. I've never been really embarrassed about that. It's a human thing. There's just no culture out there. I don't care where they live or what the weather is like. That don't wear clothes. They just don't exist. I'm not curious how much worse I could be treated or how much more often I would be grubbed if I wandered around nude. Also, I'd be absolutely no interest in seeing a bunch of naked people. No, they're bad enough with clothes on. That's a good point. So, yeah. Saying I'm in favor of clothes makes me feel like a prude, which I think is like some kind of liberal mind fuckery. But I'm going to go because it's after 2. Women who are just breastfeeding might have felt my creepy stranger to post something. Yeah. Right, and the male entitlement to such things is an issue, obviously. Then I'm determined to ensure we aren't having fun or feeling free. Right, yeah. No, because it threatens that entitlement that they have. But like, I still don't want to go into that right now. I agree, and I'm going to go. I am, because after 2 has been a fun chat. Catch you next time. Hope you'll have a great week. You too, honey. Everybody have a great week. And who knows? Maybe we'll have Lauren Southern on next week. Well, I started up a whole thing like you didn't have to go. Like you did. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. It's a good topic of conversation for next week. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.